Hey, welcome back to another episode of Heroes and Videos. Today we're going to be going through some of my favorite new comics from the last couple of weeks. Does DC have a new Trinity? My favorite Superboy costume ever. How powerful is the Invisible Woman? The Invincible Woman, maybe? And Batman has a conversation, and it's much more exciting than that sounds. We're going to be winding up the episode, so stick around to the end with a couple of deaths that I may or may not be spoiling, and a Daredevil blind bag opening. So there's a new Daredevil series. There is a new Daredevil series on Disney Plus. 3 episodes in at this point, maybe 4 by the time you're watching this video. But we'll be doing a Daredevil blind bag opening, so I'm really excited to see what cover I got. With no further ado, let's get right into it. Oh, one more thing. Please do all the wonderful YouTube stuff. Hit like. If you want to wait till the end of the video to see if you like it or not, I am perfectly okay with that. Would love for you to subscribe, hit notifications, all that wonderful stuff, so you get notified when we have new episodes of Heroes and Videos. So here we go with what I think is one of the best comic books out there. Pound for pound, month in and month out, is DC's World's Finest. This is the 50th issue of the new iteration of this book. For some of these books, I'm going to be spoiling it for you, so I'll give you a little heads up. I'm not necessarily going to spoil too much of the content, but some of the insides of these books, some of the interiors are just beautiful, and so I'm going to show you some of that. As you can see from this beautiful wraparound cover, it's kind of an homage, if you will, or a celebration of all the really cool stuff that's been going on in this book. Sorry about the glare. You see, I don't remember his name, but Kid Thunder, I guess, the little guy that Superman was kind of trying to mentor, as well as a Mangog, I think it is, or Magog from the Kingdom Come series. Crypto's on here. The composite Superman, Batman, Green Lantern up there in the corner, which is very cool. That's Lex Luthor. You'll notice he's wearing the purple outfit, and the Joker down here, the Doom Patrol. These characters all showed up in this run, or this 50-issue run. And again, as we've talked about before, the conceit of this book is that it takes place back when Dick Grayson is Robin. You see Batman and whose name I cannot pronounce, or him whose name I cannot pronounce. I would say put in the comments how you pronounce it. I guess you could put it in there phonetically. This little guy over here, Mitzelplick, I think is what most people pronounce it as. But this is just a good, fun book. This issue particularly, I'll just show you. And side note to DC, this is kind of cool. Marvel used to do this as well, but I feel like I'm getting cheated out of 2 pages of story here. It does bring you up to speed with a little synopsis of what's going on in the book, but that's 2 pages. We could be doing something else other than a 2-page spread of black ink. Here's a great example here of the interior art. Dan Mora is doing the art on this, I believe. Yes, he is. Mark Waid is writing it. I won't take you through the whole book, obviously, but there are just some beautiful, beautiful pages in here. What's his name there? Is it Dr. Destiny? I think on DC is one of the coolest villain costumes around. But there's just some beautiful interiors in this book. There's also a backup with some of the sidekicks, if you will, with Supergirl and Robin, which again, Dick Grayson Robin in that book. So yeah, World's Finest. If you're not picking it up, you're missing out. If you don't want, it's like a lot of we're heroes and videos, so let's talk a little video as opposed to heroes. If you're a fan of the TV shows like The Flash, or I'm trying to think, or Suicide Squad, or stuff that's just unabashedly fun comics. This is a comic property, and they're leaning into it, right? So that World's Finest run. Those books are just really, really just good, fun comics. Nothing too deep. This is a one and done. In fact, there's 2 one and done books in that. There are stories in that issue. So yeah, you should be reading World's Finest if you're not now. Again, taking place back in the I guess for DC timeline, our timeline, it would be more like the 60s and maybe early 70s, but telling new stories. So next up, a new Captain Marvel series called Captain Marvel Dark Past. That you see Carol Danvers there in her current outfit and her Warbird costume. It's really curious. This book, I'm enjoying it. It's got kind of the same feel to it as the Age of Resurrection, or excuse me, Age of Revelation, X-Men books that they did with Captain Marvel. And also, I just found it really curious. Rogue has a mini-series out now too, and Rogue's dealing with some memories that are resurfacing. And because it's Rogue, she's not sure if they're her memories or not. I know I shouldn't be talking about Rogue necessarily during the Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers portion of the program, but a very similar thing's happening here where Carol Danvers is having some memories that she's not aware of. I didn't look to see if these books were written by the same person. I think it's Paul Jenkins, but I do find it a bit ironic if it's not planned. I don't know how much Marvel editors or comics editors in general are really paying attention to coordination around books anymore, because it seems like that's not a thing like it was years ago. But I do find it curious that both Captain Marvel and Rogue, quite ironic really, that the two of them are having storylines with similar concept around that forgotten memories thing resurfacing, given the two characters' shared history. So that's a little interesting, but I'm enjoying the book. Now, here's that Superboy costume I was talking about. I don't know if you guys have been reading Action Comics. I had not, but right now, after what happened in DCKO 5, with the new, I guess, it's not that new, but where the DC universe is right now, Action Comics could use a title character, and Superboy is it. So these are stories. It's not like the World's Finest imprint, but these are stories that take place back in Superboy era. And I hadn't really been keeping up with what is and isn't DC continuity in terms of post-Crisis, so in terms of Superboy, except for the fact that he went away in Crisis, and you're like, there wasn't one. And now there's a couple of iterations back. In fact, if you remember back when Superman died, back in the 90s, they had a reign of the Superman. Well, this is a little reign of the Superboys here. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the thing to me, two things that make this Superboy costume just so cool, and this is Superboy in the past. Like, this is Clark as a teen, as Superboy back in Smallville. Not only the trunks here with the belt that are basically more like shorts, kind of like what Superman wore in the James Gunn film that was out last year, but the red tennis shoes. I think that just adds a really cool teen look. That Superboy having tennis shoes. That's just, and here on the cover, to me, there's nothing more Norman Rockwell Americana or whatever as a kid, or a teen, as having to tie your tennis shoes. So that really looks cool. I didn't notice. I read this book. I did not notice until just before filming this video the semi-invisible hand there and foot that in the I don't know if it's going to be connecting cover or whatnot, but this cover really jumped out at me, and I'm hooked. This is Action number 1096, so I think I'm in for the long haul to at least see where this book goes through 1100. So that I'm intrigued by that Superboy book. And next up, Absolute Wonder Woman 18, the new, or the Absolute Zatanna there, and Wonder Woman. Loving this book. Got into it a few issues ago with the Batman crossover, and just been enjoying it ever since. It's got a vibe, kind of a mystical vibe to it, very much like Thor, that had a similar art aesthetic a few volumes ago, and yeah, it's just really cool. So, Absolute Wonder Woman. Now, how powerful is the Invisible Woman, right? Well, let's ask her. She's right here. No, sorry, invisible joke. So Marvel's currently doing a little 4 or 5-parter here. I guess it must be a 5-parter because this is 4. And spoiler, this is not the last issue of it. How you remember when? I don't know if you do remember when Sue Richards went kind of rogue. Sorry for the rogue pun in the Captain Marvel video, where she turned evil. She to Malice, this character that you see on the front here. Cover kind of gives away that this is a separate entity than the Invisible Woman who's in the background there. I'm not really sure what's going on in this cover, like an actual fight or whatnot. All of our heroes are on it, but Malice seems to be pointing our direction instead of theirs. I'm really not sure. Again, I can't really tell from the composition exactly what's going on. Is it symbolic or what? But the storyline in here is this version of Sue, this Malice, in this case, though she doesn't call herself that, she calls herself the Invincible Woman. It 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 looks at, hey, what if that person went rogue? What if that person went evil? Because they show a lot about how powerful over the years Sue Richards has become. You know, the inventive ways that she could use her powers, and it's quite frightening if she did go off the rails. She's set loose in this book against our heroes, and I'm curious to see where they're going to go with this, because there were a couple of truly frightening moments in that book. DC's new Trinity, I mentioned. So it says, they even advertise it here on the cover, or more likely Gotham's new Trinity. I don't know what Gotham's old Trinity would be, but this is Batman, Green Arrow, and Black Canary. There's a cool, the art's good in this. This is the storyline after that No Fear storyline that got me back into Detective Comics. So I like this. There's a bit of a mystery in here, which is, apropos for Detective Comics. It's nice to have a mystery. And but there is a scene in here that's a little weird to me. I guess, let me hang on. I'm going to show you real quick. The heroes all gather, like their families, if you will, or their superhero families, all gather in what was Wildcat's old gym, the character Wildcat from the Golden Age. And Black Canary has his gym, and they all gather there. And the shot is, actually, I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it. There we go. The shot down here, opposite this page, but there we go. Nope, over here. So I get it from a size standpoint. That's Bruce in the middle, and you've got Barbara Gordon there. You've got the Batgirl, what's her name, Cassandra Cain, Batgirl. You've got Spoiler. You've got Damian, of course, Green Arrow, because he's been around, almost as long as Batman. It seems like he's large in stature. But a little arsenal here. I mean, that's Speedy, who should be technically about the same size as Dick Grayson. I don't know. It feels a little weird to me. But there seems like there's three body sizes for these characters. Though it is kind of cool to see Connor Hawke, a lot of the Bat family, the Green Arrow family, if you will. There wasn't any Black Canary family in there. So, but it's a good book, and it's got me hooked enough in terms of this mystery to pick up the next issue. DC continues their, this calls it Villain Amnesty. I think it's kind of neat. DC's doing a bit of a reformation in terms of how they treat their villains after DCKO. And in this, the idea being, if these villains, the danger was big enough with Darkseid and the Evil Legion and everything that was happening to the Earth during DCKO, that event, that even the villains were like, hey, we've got families too, we don't want the world to end. So they were pitching in. I'm curious to see how long this keeps up. You'll see there's a number of characters on here: King Shark, Lex Luthor, Harley Quinn, and Lobo. I'm just curious to see how long this DC amnesty for villains keeps up. It's a neat concept, and once again, good book. Moore's not drawing that one. Mark Waid's writing it, and that's also pound for pound one of the better books out. This is New Avengers number 10, which is wrapping up with this issue. I've enjoyed this book. It's been a little weird in terms of double agent, triple agent, what's going on, can you trust your own mind kind of thing. But it's quite a cast of characters. It reminds me of the original Defenders book, in terms of it wasn't always the same team every issue, though these 6 individuals have pretty much been the team the last half a dozen, or last, 4 or 5 issues. You've got Eddie Brock with Carnage, you've got Laura Linney Wolverine, you've got Klee, you've got Black Widow, the Winter Soldier, Namor. Just some interesting dynamics, and it's just been good and fun. They're going after the Killuminati. Whoever noticed that you could just put a K in front of Illuminati and thought you could pronounce it? Sorry, it's a little difficult. But yeah, so it wrapped up. There's a great scene at the end of it. Spoilers, kind of. There's a great scene between them and some of the actual Avengers in terms of them facing off, and we may or may not see more of the new Avengers, if they're, I don't know if they even call themselves that in the book, but it was good fun, 10 issues. Now we're up to some deaths coming up, and I'm not going to spoil the deaths other than say that There may be some in the next couple books I'm talking about. So if you don't want to see that, don't just fast forward. Let's say 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. The first one is over here behind me with Venom 256. I haven't been buying the Venom book. I got it. I'm getting it a couple issues here because it's part of this spiral crossover that's going on. The things, if you're looking in the background here, that is Torment, I believe, is the villain, and he's holding Eddie Brock's kid. I don't know much about Eddie Brock's kid. Dylan Brock, I believe is his name. Things aren't looking too good for Dylan there. I just had to pick up this variant cover. I'm a Beatles fan, and if you're a Beatles fan, this cover might look awfully familiar to you. Other than, I think on the original Beatles cover, the Baxter building was not prominent in the background there. And I'm not sure why it is here, other than to make us realize this is New York City. But there was a Beatles album years ago with a photo of the Beatles walking across a crosswalk. I believe it was Abbey Road. I'm not entirely sure. But here we've got, and I'm not sure how we have Venom and Mary Jane separated, other than it's a symbolic cover, maybe, because it's this variant cover. We've got Dylan Brock, Paul, that is Paul, I believe, with the man bun there. If you haven't been following Spider-Man the last couple of volumes, you may not know who Paul is. Even following it, I didn't realize all of his backstory. I'd missed something here or there, but he's not really that beloved by most Spider-Man fans. I don't really have a Paul opinion. There's Mary Jane and Venom, which, given what's going on with Mary Jane and Venom, it is kind of curious that they are separated there. But the thing about the Beatles cover from way back in the day, this would be late 60s, I'm thinking, is that this cover came out and the Beatles were walking across this crosswalk, and Paul McCartney was not wearing shoes. And everybody at the time took that to mean somehow this rumor came up that Paul was dead, and they were covering it up somehow. Now, don't get me started on conspiracy theories. It's a little weird to think, why would they have, this is back before Photoshop and anything, right? This is like 50 years ago. Why would they have a picture of Paul with his shoes off before Paul was dead, if Paul was dead? So I just found that interesting. And there have been rumors that a character might be dying in the well, actually many characters have been dying in the Spider-Man book. I know I'm over the 90 seconds. If you've come back for the spoilers, give me another minute. And a number of the characters' family members, whether that's Mary Jane Watson or Eddie Brock or Peter Parker, a lot of these characters have their extended family, or maybe it's even just coincidental, they just have a last name Watson or Brock or Parker, and no relation whatsoever. Those characters have been getting killed by this character, Torment. So while there's been a lot of death, there's talk that, there might be a big death coming up, and there kind of is. And I won't give anything away. But the thing that I thought was curious that and it didn't even hit me till I was going over this with some of the folks that run that are at our local comic shop, was that it is kind of weird that it is Paul that doesn't have shoes on here, because in the original Beatles, or the Beatles, the original album cover this is based off of, Paul McCartney was the one that didn't have on shoes. So I just thought that was kind of hilarious and had to grab the cover. So well played, Marvel marketing department. Next up is Ultimate Endgame number 3. I believe this is rapidly coming to a close with issue 4. I've not been a big fan of this. I've loved the Ultimate books, or at least the ones I've been reading. I haven't done X-Men, haven't done Wolverine. I tried Wolverine. Really love Ultimate Spider-Man, and love the Ultimates. Both of those books I've just been on board for every month. I was hoping for more. If this really is the swan song for the Ultimate Universe, I don't think it is. Some of the marketing stuff that's coming out makes me think it's not either. Trying to not spoil here, particularly if you've just come back after that very long 90 seconds. Time's relative, right? I don't feel if there's a character death in this issue, I don't feel that it's that earned. It kind of broke me. What happens in this issue, And honestly, yeah, I'm really super disappointed. I've been disappointed in this book a little bit because it just feels kind of like it's paint by numbers, and it hasn't seemed to have the vibe of the Ultimate book or Ultimate Spider-Man. That little extra charisma. I don't know what the right word is, gravitas, but yeah, you could have done Marvel. I'm disappointed in what happens in this book. That is all I will say. This is, I believe, a variant cover. If you're wondering why Magic and Young Storm are featured so prominently on it, but yeah, Ultimate Endgame 3. It's worth a read. I mean, I definitely recommend you pick it up. A couple more real quick before we do the blind bag thing, because I know I'm running long. The new Batman number 8. A variant covers over here behind me. This is the conversation I was talking about. This book basically has two conversations taking place. I'm going to show you a little bit of the inside. Oh man, look at that. Just takes me back to that Hawkeye series, right? It's that just beautiful stuff there. Matt Fraction's the writer on this. Ryan Sook is the artist. There's a extended conversation with Batman and Green Lantern Alan Scott, excuse me. And it's just really cool seeing Batman in ordinary situations, like hanging out, sitting in a booth in a diner. And I love the humor in this book. This is back to, it's not quite Batman 66. It's not nearly Batman 66, but it's a Batman that can smile. And honestly, I don't want to say we get a smile an issue, but looking back on this series, we might. The beautiful thing about this book, though, is that Fraction's writing these as one and done stories. They are written as standalone pieces, but they all fit in to the same symphony, if you will, or the same storyline. Here's the other conversation that's going on, and that with that beautiful spread there, it's Vandal Savage, who is police commissioner in Gotham, and Pamela Isley, who apparently, I didn't realize this, is mayor. So how's that, man? You think you got problems in your local government or your national government or whatever? You've got and no, actually those things aren't at all comparable now that I've said it out loud. But if you think you have problems in your local government, you could have these supervillains in place there. Extrapolate if you want in terms of whether or not we've got supervillains running the national government. Kind of takes me back to the Lex Luthor president storyline way back, except Luthor's a genius, so not that. But yeah, every issue ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, and and that one's no exception. The other one, another one I want to show you some art with real quick before we're going to do that Daredevil blind bag opening, is Uncanny X-Men number 25. Love that cover, man. Who hasn't always wanted to see Wolverine and Jack Russell's Werewolf by Night? Though, given Wolverine's overpoweredness, the last few decades, it does feel like it would be a quick fight. Maybe not so much. I'm going to show you some of this. There's a great framing of this story that basically is written and drawn like it was an old Marvel Western comic, with the 4 characters that are like the new mutants in this book. But I want to show you some of the painting on this, some of the art, the colors, I guess is what I'm looking for, is just phenomenal. It's it looks almost painted, but yeah, the coloring in this is just crazy cool, and the art is just slamming. Oh, here we go. How's that werewolf and rogue there? Oh, yeah, that stuff just pops off the page. Man, look at that. That is crazy good. Let's give this person some credit here. David Marquez is the artist. Gail Simone's writing the book, but it's just the art's great. I had to show you those couple of panels because that is just phenomenal, and it's a kind of a cool little 4-pager at the end of that with the kids. And but yeah, great story. Both X-Men books are just crushing it now. So we are finally up to the Daredevil number 1. I have read the first couple of pages of this book, not this book, but unbagged copy. So it looks like Marvel's really stepping it up with Daredevil a little bit. I don't know if that's because of some synergy with the show or what, but I have not been a big fan of the last few volumes. But this volume, it looks like they're really getting serious again. It's not that the other books were unserious, but it just looks like it stepped up a notch. But I am curious as to what's in here. I did not bring a knife up here with me, so I'm hoping I do this without destroying the comic inside. We're about to find out. How about that? Oh, there we go. Came apart pretty easily. All right. So I'm going to actually hold this up so that you see it before I do. It's got an advertisement on the back for a cold day in, it's not Hades, but I'm trying to be good and not say that. It looks like it's got some interesting stuff on here on the sides. Oh, my guess is this is a cover to the book, like, because it's not really made out of the same material, and that the actual cover's inside. Honestly, that Justice is Blind is pretty cool. This may be around all of them. It says the new Daredevil era from Stephanie Phillips and Lee Garbett belongs here. So let's see what we've got here. Oh, cool. Oh, wow. Wait, it's actually not attached. That is just the cover. Sorry about that audio. I was just so excited. No pun intended, Daredevil fans, but I didn't see the mic that I just hit, so I apologize for that. I'm sure Matt Murdock, if you're listening, that thump on the microphone just probably just blew your eardrums open there. I think that's Peach. No, it's not Peach Momoko. I don't think, not unless her initials are JK. Let's take a look and see. But it's a really pretty cover. Look at that. Yeah. Well, I'm impressed. I like that. The local comic shop had a cool thing going where, they could trade you if you opened the book and you wanted to swap covers with some of the ones that they had. I chose not to do that, mainly because I wanted to let you people see the first one here. But it's I don't want to spoil anything, but that's that 2 pages, I guess, like World's Finest. We started this video with this. We might as well end it with that too. 2 pages. That's a beautiful, at least we're getting some beautiful Daredevil shot there, which is kind of like the pose on the regular cover. Who are the other covers? There's a Sal Buscema Bicentennial Calendar Hidden Gem variant. I was kind of hoping for that one, actually. No offense to JK. Who's JK? Whose cover is this? I don't see those matching up with the initials. Some of the other folks that did it, Rose Besh, Jeff DeCal, Gabriel Delato. I got his cover, I think, on, or their cover on the Batman bag a while back. Alex Maleev. Oh, Peach Momoko is one. So maybe that's Peach Momoko. But it looks like a JK. You guys can tell me down at the bottom there. Oh, you can't quite make it out. It feels like a Peach Momoko. I guess I will have to look that up. But let me know what you think. I'm impressed with that. I like it. I'll take it. And I'm not even, I like Peach Momoko stuff. I'll buy her covers because honestly I feel like they're pretty cool. They have the different aesthetic. But was not anticipating that. So don't know how rare or not rare that is, and that really doesn't matter to me because like with most comics, I like it, so that's what's important. So, and I would give you that same advice. Well, we are coming up on, I know I mentioned Lightning Round, but we're coming up on one of the longer episodes of Heroes and Videos. Let me know in the comments what you think of the cover. I think that's pretty cool. Matt, what do you think? Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad. And you notice Daredevil's hanging out up here on the shelf. So yeah, I like that. I look forward to telling you what I thought of the book after I actually read it. And I think it's kind of cool that this is pretty cool too, the little cover they give you for it. So yeah, I like that. So let me know what you think, what you thought. Let me know what Daredevil cover you might have received in your blind bag if you had one. In the meantime, there's all kinds of great video content out there. As you know, Wonder Man's got a second season. I don't know what they're going to do, but looking forward to that. May go back and watch the first season again. Daredevil Born Again is going on right now. I'm loving that. I'll do a review of that at some point on the channel. What else is coming up? Go see Project Hail Mary. That was really good. We've also got Punisher, the Punisher Special Edition, or the Punisher Special One-Shot Special Marvel presentations coming out right after, a week after Daredevil Born Again wraps up. In the meantime, keep reading comics, keep going to see movies, and be kind to each other.